Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 285. Upgrade the existing. You want to do an upgrade? Do you want to upgrade your existing timeshare, or do you want to buy a new timeshare? And the way I look at this is, hey, do you want more variety, or do you want more volume of what you already have? And so what I'll talk about today is key factors that I kind of think of when I consider the same thing. I'll go through the sort of the two sides, the benefits of having variety, and then again the benefits of volume, which is more of the same. And then I'm going to throw in the effects of the wild card effects of industry consolidation and how that might play into doing an upgrade. So without further ado, let's talk about the factors. Okay, let's talk about the key factors to consider. Are there enough locations in your current timeshare? So do you want to spend more time at the current locations in your network? Or you're like, well, I really like to have more options to do. And maybe you want to do the choices offered by the other timeshare companies, and you kind of look at that. And that's kind of the trade-off. Do you want the more of the same, and you're constantly wishing you could do 2 weeks at the same location, and you can only do one right now, or all different versions of that. Doesn't necessarily mean you want more locations, you want more time at one location. So, but that's kind of the factor that's probably the most obvious, but something to consider. The other one I want to talk about is exchanges. If you do a second or third or whatever, do you gain access to a different exchange that you don't already have? So that means the exchanges expand what you can get into. And do you add a second exchange or a third exchange that all of a sudden opens up a huge window for you of more locations? The other question you have to ask yourself, have you explored your existing exchange to know its limits? So sometimes maybe you don't even need to do the upgrade. It's actually, well, wait, maybe I should just get more efficient at what I already have. Because once you upgrade, you have maintenance coming at you constantly versus an exchange. It's kind of a one-off opportunity. It's more cash for a year that you're going to want to do more, but not next year. So that's something to consider. Maintenance fees. Are the maintenance fees in the new timeshare more expensive or less expensive? And is there a corresponding drop or increase in luxury? And will you be okay with that? So in theory, the higher maintenance locations are typically, more luxurious. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't luxurious locations within we'll call it the lesser priced timeshare that are comparable in luxury to the more expensive. So that's kind of a trade-off. You have to look at both those options, because once you get if you go pick the higher, you're now potentially paying more for every day you stay at a location versus more of a lesser one, or vice versa. And the last thing you want to consider is the perks. So if you move up a level, if you buy and you move up a level, are those perks worth it to you? I upgraded in Marriott till I got free breakfast in hotels. When I basically got the platinum, and what that meant is if when I stay at hotels, and not all of them offer free breakfast, but if you have certain status level, you get access to executive lounges, or you get breakfast. Are the perks in the new timeshare worth more to you, or having both is greater than the sum of both is greater than the ones you might get at the next level of the current? And again, I'll give you examples. I mentioned the status with hotel to get your free breakfast. Sometimes shares offer upgrades to room. You get cash vacations with points in some timeshares. You get free lift access for not necessarily needing to rent a car. You just drop in and they take you for free to the room using your Lyft dollars. And there's many, many, many more. But kind of lay out the perks that you have and see which ones make more sense to you. So now let's talk about I'm going to break it down now let's look at the benefits of variety. So I'll now take the view of, I want variety, and then let's look at the pluses to that, sort of kind of different view of what we just talked about. More locations. Okay. Locations close to you for a driving weekend vacations. Might just use some of your points that you're going to purchase to use. All of a sudden now you can do driving vacations because the locations with the new timeshare you're going to add are close to where you are. And the other option is, oh wow, this I've always when I looked at the list and combined the two, I was like, my bucket list is like 90% covered or 100% covered. The other thing to consider is, oh, are these new locations close to family? So you can then combine, let's say you're visiting friends or family, and their house is full because they got plenty of kids and they have a small house or whatever, and you'd rather stay there and invite your friends over to take advantage of some of the timeshare benefits. Have a barbecue and not have to clean up afterwards, for example. My favorite, actually. The other benefit is vacation dollars go further. So if you get access to a cash-based vacation, in other words, within 90 days they let you pay cash instead of using points. Those are like ability to lift up the number of days vacation that you're taking, or days if use those for the weekends, per se. And if you have even greater access to that, that could be a perk by having more of them that you can do. Gain another exchange. So now all of a sudden you can look at, well, this other exchange that I had access to only this, but now I have two of them and I can pick and choose twice as much. So it could be like a 4x increase in access to different locations. And in fact, I found that I added a timeshare and I had cheaper access to existing my old timeshare. I'll call it my first timeshare, by going through the exchange. It was actually cheaper from dollars and points maintenance fees by using the exchange to stay at the same hotel. I could pay the points directly. That's bizarre, but it's true. And actually, in the last couple of videos that I've done, I've shown you examples of that. And again, the other thing is you get additional hotel chain with priority access. So if you're one of those people that has points with multiple hotels, you've traveled a lot or whatever, or you have multiple credit cards to get you access, then all of a sudden you have priority access, because often with the timeshares you get priority access with the hotels, and that can be free breakfast. Again, sounds like I'm all about food, and I kind of am. I'm a seafood eater. Whatever I see, I eat. The perks available with an additional timeshare are better than higher level or of what you own. So in other words, if you look at the perks with having two, you'll say, wow, that's better because I can take advantage of this one when I'm doing this, and I can take advantage of that, and that's better than if I consolidate and only have one. I get a slightly higher level, but it's not, that next level is not worth as much to me. And then if you've added another one, there's a blended maintenance fee with a new timeshare. So maybe you're adding, oh, I finally want to get to that luxury timeshare, so I'm going to step up to that. I've always wanted to do that, or vice versa. I want to have a budget vacation because I don't want to spend this amount of money every time I go on vacation. I want more vacations across, so I get more locations and more vacations without having to spend extra money beyond what I would like. And now we'll do the flip side. Benefits of volume or more of the same. You get to visit the locations you love more each year. So it might be, no, I want to spend 2 weeks there, not one. And so that would tell you that you should buy more of the same. There's also vacation dollars to go further. You have just 1 week, and you really would like to use a 1 week plus the exchange, and not just the cash exchange, but you actually want to use the point method of doing exchange, not sort of the last call or getaway method of either international or RCI. That way you don't have to choose between exchange or in-network. You can do both every year. And that might be benefit, or you might say, oh, 1 year I want to do 2 weeks at my favorite place, and next year I want to do one at my favorite place and 1 week at another location in the exchange. So that's an advantage of doing more of the same, because you get to do leverage more of the capabilities within the existing exchange, within the existing timeshare. Maybe that next purchase gets you the upgrade to the room status, and now you all of a sudden you have the 48-hour guarantee because you're now platinum or whatever level it is, or diamond, whatever level it is, that allows you to get the 48-hour guarantee, and that matters to you because that allows you to do last minute travel on the hotel side, and that's great for you. The second thing is you get perks at a new level that you let you vacation more to your liking. So for Marriott's one is if you upgrade to a certain level, all of a sudden you can go 12 months out and book 1 night or 2 nights. The level I'm at, I think it's 8 months out, or so either 6 or 8 months out. I have to book a full week, and so some people like that additional flexibility. That's an example of a perk they get. The World Mark one is that you don't have to worry about cleaning tokens. And Hilton at the next level might be you get more Lyft dollars, and that really matters a lot to you because you prefer most of the time not to have a rental car because you're going where you want to go. The other option is you'd love to have more luxury, love the level of luxury you have, and you want more of the same, so that would be the benefit of sticking with more of the same. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the effects of industry consolidation that might affect your purchase. So industry consolidations, you gain locations you want. Hilton bought Diamond and Blue Green recently. Travel and Leisure owns Worldmark, Club Wyndham, Margaritaville. And so sometimes if you just buy into it, you gain access to everything because you've got that. And Marriott bought Vistana, which was Sheraton and Westin combined. If there's consolidation, you want to do an upgrade to access new benefits, or is the upgrade your last? So in other words, if this is your last upgrade, then you do run the risk if there's a consolidation, you may have to, you may not be able to gain access to that consolidation. The flip side is, will you gain better access to places you love or duplicate what you already have? In other words, you could end up going, well, now I have 2, but the consolidation has made it so really the reason I got into 2 now doesn't matter as much because the consolidation of the one I had now does that. And so can't always predict that. The one I like that I think a lot of people are doing is sometimes buying more of the same gets you access to the consolidation. So like in Hilton's case, the HGV Max is only available if you do an upgrade that gives you the access to the others, all the properties within the rules of the access. And so maybe buying more of the same actually is the same as getting more locations available to you. So that's sometimes what a consolidation happens. Same thing with Marriott. They had sort of a way to bring things together. Adding an existing timeshare gives you access to all locations that I just talked about that that you have. So again, and then there's there's the additional exchanges that you get because of consolidation. Sometimes I ended up with GPX because I happened to buy at one location. So you never know how that's going to play out, but those are the things to consider that industry consolidation happens. So hope you like this video. Don't forget to like or subscribe, and I'll tell you a little bit about my channel right after this. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com.